Okay, Madam Chair.
Then the floor is yours.
Thank you. So again, I'm reading here from Robert's Rules of Order, 12th edition. In this case, Chapter 20, Disciplinary Procedures. So I think the relevant portions here, based on the question that was asked and the motion that's on the floor, I'll read you a few here just to give you the full picture. The first is 61:13, which states, although the chair has no authority to impose a penalty or to order the offending member removed from the hall, the assembly has that power. In this case, the assembly is the Board of Commissioners. It should be noted in this connection that in any case of an offense against the assembly occurring in a meeting, there is no need for a formal trial, that any penalty is imposed promptly after the breach, since the witnesses are all present and make up the body that is to determine the penalty. And then I will refer you to 61:18, which says, if the assembly orders an offending member to leave the hall during a meeting as described above, and he refuses to do so, the considerations stated below regarding the removal of offenders apply. But such a member exposes himself to the possibility of more severe disciplinary action by the society. And then finally, I'll refer you to 61:20, which says, if a member, whether a member of the assembly or not, meaning a member of the board or not, or a member of the public, refuses to obey the order or proper authority to leave the hall during a meeting, the chair should take necessary measures to see that the order is enforced, but should be guided by a judicious appraisal of the situation. The chair can appoint a committee to escort the offender to the door, or the sergeant at arms, if there is one, can be asked to do this. If those who are assigned that task are unable to persuade the offender to leave, it is usually preferable that he be removed by police, who may, however, be reluctant to intervene unless representatives of the organization are prepared to press charges. So a couple things. Obviously, I'll point out that with respect to that last one, we're talking about virtual attendance. So it would presumably be removing that virtual attendant from the meeting. I will also point out that while I am aware of rights of free speech, courts have often decided that Robert's Rules of Order should apply or can apply to enforce decorum in meetings. And in fact, the authorities' bylaws state that where the bylaws are silent on any topic, Robert's Rules of Order control. So.
I have a question.
Okay.
As far as the bylaws, is there anything in our bylaws that would prevent us from doing this?
No.
Okay.
So my opinion, my counsel on the question is, I know the motion on the floor is to remove a member from the meeting. My recommendation would be that maybe it would be appropriate for the board to consider a motion to direct the member to cease disrupting the meeting and keep comments in line with Robert's Rules of Order. And if that if the disruption does not cease, that the board would then vote at this time as part of the same resolution that the member be removed from the meeting.
Okay, so that's fair.
Council, have a question?
Commissioner, I'm sorry, I just couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Commissioner. Senator, you have the floor.
So, Council,
Yes.
You're referring to Robert Rules of Order?
Correct.
Does the HUD handbook have any guidance on this?
I'm not aware that it does, Commissioner.
My understanding of the HUD handbook is that only the appointing authority may discipline the commission. And in that case, it will be the mayor or provost, not the members of the board of commissioners.
I believe that's
If I can
pretty
comment on
Yeah.
that, this is Harold Fitzpatrick. I would like to comment on that.
Absolutely.
I believe that understanding is incorrect. The fact of the matter is, New Jersey law provides that an appointing authority of any commissioner can take action to remove the commissioner. That's completely separate. There is no provision for discipline in New Jersey law. It leaves it to the bylaws and, in this case, the Robert's Rules of Order. In addition to which, I disagree completely on you speak about HUD handbooks. There is nothing in any HUD handbook that limits the ability to control a meeting of the authority in the manner that has been advised by our firm that it can be done. I disagree fundamentally with what the commissioner said.
Thank you, Harold.
I have a question for Harold, based on what he just said.
Commissioner Sanford?
So, counsel, is it your opinion that the board has the right to discipline a fellow commissioner?
You have the right to remove you.
It's not a matter of discipline. You're using that word. We never used it. What it is action. Let me finish. Don't interrupt me.
Commissioner Sanford, I asked that
To
one.
control the meeting when the commissioners have determined that you have taken it out of control. The word discipline has never been brought up in terms of what the action is. If the commissioners were to determine later on to discipline you, which they can do, you have been before, they could consider that at some point. But that's not what's being suggested here. This has to do with control of a meeting.
Correct.
Are you done?
And keeping the quorum, that's correct, Harold. So with that being
Harold,
said,
the context of what you just said is also incorrect, because very clearly, Commissioner Forbes made the suggestion of this resolution as a punishment directed at this.
Well, I can't speak for any individual commissioner. I'm giving you the legal advice on what the resolution that's on the table is.
and what was put on the table was not a punishment. It was in order to keep the quorum of the meeting so that we could keep the meeting going. So that is not what's on the floor, Commissioner Sanford. I am going to.
Two commissioners said they wanted to punish me. The director
There's
just
no.
said consequences and punishment.
That's not what the director said at all.
Exactly what the director said.
No, it's not. He said we should take action. And the action that was taken was that there was a motion on the floor to have you removed from the meeting because of your decorum. You were not allowing anyone to speak. You obviously attacked the director with clearly what the lawyer said we should not be doing as a board. And I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, from everything that Matt said, I think we have the right to do what the motion that is on the floor. So I don't want any further discussion. This time I would like to call a vote.
Madam Chair, you may not like having to discuss this, but we are.
Commissioner Sanford, I'm going to warn you that if you continue to disrupt me, I will have you muted from the meeting.
Don't I get 10 minutes?
No, you're not, because right now there's a motion and a second and we're going to vote on it.
You're going to violate your own guidance.
No, we've discussed this for 10
Madam
minutes.
Chair, I'll point out to you that the commissioner has already spoken twice.
Exactly.
He
Thank
gets
you so
up to
much.
10 minutes.
Well, we're talking about your legal opinion.
Thank you. So moving forward, and that's the opinion that I would have to take. Again, at this point, I'm going to ask that you be muted, and I would ask that the director close the vote.
Could you rephrase the resolution? Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Sure. So, Erica, you put the resolution on the floor. Would you like to put it on the floor? Just how you put it.
But I thought I can, with the guidance.
The resolution that's on the
current
floor,
one or the one that
the current one states to have him removed from
Yes.
the meeting. So
The
that's what the resolution
on
is.
the floor is to remove Commissioner Sanford from the meeting for not following the quorum and Robert's rules.
Okay. And there was a second?
Yes, I second.
Could we call a vote?
David Edwards?
Yes.
Anthony Forbes?
He's not here anymore yet, I believe.
Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
James Sanford?
He's muted.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
I would unmute.
No,
Unmute him?
no.
Okay.
My vote is no.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
For obstructing this.
The vote passes.
So the vote passes. So now we can have him removed from the meeting. Thank you.
I'll ask
You are violating the
Angel.
law.
Can you do that, Angel?
I would just like to state that I just took, well, he's gonna watch us anyway. I just want to put it on the record that everything we did was as far as the legal counsel has advised us, what we are able to do and what we are not able to do. I want to make it perfectly clear that this is not how we want to run a meeting. We really want to be able to run a meeting. I think tonight is going to be a historic night for the residents of the Housing Authority, and we should not be going through this. It's unfair that we are going through this, and I'm saying this as a resident. So again, if someone disagrees, I just want to put it out there that this is not how we want to run a meeting. It's just that sometimes you have to take action so people understand that this is a serious meeting with serious matters that need to be taken care of. So, thank you. So can we move forward now? I know now we were in our public portion. Before we start, I know I have some people, but I just like to recognize that we have some city council members here, and if you guys would like to get up and say a few words, you're more than welcome to do that now. Michael, Tiffany.
I was going to speak anyway. Thank you, Madam Chair. First and foremost, I just want to say to Carmen, congratulations. This is an absolute historic night for the Hoboken Housing Authority. Despite one commissioner thinking he's on an episode of Matlock and questioning people like he's an attorney, you know, we now have 3 resident commissioners on this board. I would love to see one more and make it a full majority of the board making decisions for the residents of the Housing Authority. I think it's absolutely amazing. So congratulations. I wish you all the best, and I'm here to help in any way I possibly can. Please call on me if you need to. There's just a few things that I wanted to speak about on the agenda, and one of them is probably the biggest one on here, and that's the Master Development Agreement. There was a little hiccup at the last board meeting because we really fought to make sure that we were fighting for the working men and women of the city of Hoboken and the state of New Jersey. And we put that provision in the Master Development Agreement to make sure that any development in the state, in the Housing Authority, will include union labor. That's extremely important. You'll also see on the agenda that there's another union matter on here, and that's for our employees, to make sure that they're getting their fair wage and they negotiated their contract. And I can't thank the board and I can't thank the administration enough for making sure that they put the working men and women of the Housing Authority on the forefront all the time. It really is an amazing day. If you also look on the agenda, everything on here tonight is really about, with the exception of the minutes and things like that, but it's really about the residents. We're talking about changing the way we pick up our garbage. It changes the way we deal with our rat situation. We're talking about stripping and waxing floors in our buildings. We're talking about making sure that every single building now has the cleanliness that we all demand. The director spoke about a potential contract at Fox Hill to paint that building. These are the things that matter. These are the things that the residents want to hear about. These are the things that we as a community should always fight for. It's really, really sad that because of what happened at this meeting earlier, you had residents get up and walk out because they're frustrated. And as a commissioner, I sat there, and as a commissioner, we give each other that deference, and we always want to make sure we hear each other out. But I'm on this side of the table now. I'm not going to tolerate it. That is absolutely ridiculous that that commissioner continues to hijack meetings time and time again. And Madam Chair, I commend you for taking charge and running a meeting so that no one disrupts what needs to get done for the residents of the Housing Authority. It is an absolute historic night in more ways than one. We have those resident commissioners, fight for those residents, continue to do that. This board makes up a phenomenal team. We have financial experts, we have resident commissioners, we have someone who leads with her heart all the time. This is an amazing board that's going to do amazing things for this authority. And they're going to do that under the leadership of this administration. I cannot thank you enough. I am humbled by all of your service, and I really, really want to say I am here to help every step of the way. Utilize whatever skill set I have. I really thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi. I didn't plan.
I'm sorry, before you start, can you say your name
Yeah, of
for the board
course.
report?
Yep. Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher, Second Ward. I didn't plan to speak tonight. I really came because I saw Commissioner Edwards a couple weeks ago who said tonight was finally this really big night because the Master Development Agreement was going to be voted on. And you know, this is a project that I think we all community leaders, if they don't feel that it's the most important project in the city of Hoboken, they will feel it. And it is, I think everyone, you know, what makes Hoboken so crazy amazing for all of us is our sense of community. And I think people from all over Hoboken are excited to see an improvement, you know, to just the quality of life of our neighbors in the housing authority. So I know that there's been a lot of work. Director Echo and I have talked on and off over the years about this. I actually, the little history, Commissioner Edwards called me about being on the housing, or the Hoboken Community Center board, and I was like, you know, I feel like you might have this skill set that would be better suited for the housing authority. And he was like, what is that? And we kind of walked through it, and I couldn't be more pleased that, you know, he came here. But, you know, to echo what Mike just said, like when you look at the people that are on this board and what they're representing, both the interests of the people that live here, as well as bringing some additional expertise or, you know, representing the community, it's a really great, diverse board. And I'm just really excited for you. So I can't wait to see this move forward. And although Mike didn't say it, I know he'd want to say it as a city council, whatever we can do on the city council. You know, we have big changes next year, obviously, but I think there's a commitment from everyone on the city council to do what we can to just provide as much support, you know, to see this move forward. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for asking me to speak. And one final thing, sorry. I've heard about this disruption, right? I mean, I've spoken to Chairman Reyes, I've spoken with Commissioner Seitzman. But I haven't seen it. And to stand here tonight and to stand in the back next to Sergeant Collins and just kind of learn more about this level of disruption. First of all, you're incredible. Like your ability to kind of do your best to manage, you know, this. We do need to do something. I mean, I don't know that we all have a clear path on what to do, but I think coming out of this, you know, I'm interested in trying to figure out a way to, you know, clear that path, get it done. Hopefully having the primary kind of behind us, Mayor Bala might be a little bit more interested in having that conversation. So I think Mike and I were just talking about it. I think we'll try and see what more we can do to make that change. Anyway, thank you for all that you guys do. And that's it. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. Now we're going to go to public portion. AJ Warren.
ADRIENNERAWLINS. Doors that are being propped open by contractors and tenants and employees has to stop. I don't know how many times I've come home or have had a day off where I'm leaving the building and the contractors have the doors propped open so that they can bring stuff inside. And then once they're inside, the door stays open. They forget about that they had it open. I don't know why two people aren't doing that, bringing things in and bringing things out so that somebody will hold the door, close the door. I myself don't hold the door open and leave it open forever. I get in, bring my stuff in, be done with it, close the door. And I stand there and make sure that it locks so that no one behind me can get in. And it's really a safety issue because I don't know how many times, I think it was last week, we had to call the police department because of someone sleeping literally next to my door. My son had left for work. There was somebody sleeping next to my door. Although I found out later that he was related to a resident, at the time, my son didn't know who it was and said, "Ma, call the cops. Somebody's sleeping there." Okay, fine, I did it. But I didn't know who it was, and I have a 16-year-old who likes to go downstairs to go out and ride her bike. with her brother. I don't know what would happen. It's just insane. The door's being left open. Again, the back door, continuous kicking. The kicking is getting harder now. I don't know who's doing it. I've yelled out the window a couple times, I hope you break your leg, because the kicking, it vibrates my kitchen window. And I shouldn't have to go through that. That's ridiculous. I'm getting tired of it. Yesterday, my child and a friend came home, and as they were getting off the elevator, Mickey Mouse was scurrying around, took off and went down stairwell A. When I got out, I noticed that the exterminators were just leaving the building, and they went behind 501. I said, did you catch Mickey Mouse in 560? They kept walking, they probably didn't even hear me. And again, maintenance is not sweeping and then mopping. There's a mess on the second floor consistently. If I do it, I'm charging you for it. The assigned parking, how much longer is that going to take for the family buildings? Because, you know, my son has been lucky the last couple of nights, but it's just consistently waiting and waiting and waiting for a parking spot. And there's people who are parking there who don't even live here. The stairwells, again, they are never cleaned. They smell bad, and there's always trash in the stairwell. And then the bags on the compactors. If you're gonna either clean the compactor, or if it's backed up, send out a nixle to the building or to the residents and let us know that, hey, we're gonna have a bag on for 2 days. That also brings rodents to the floor, and good thing my cats are mousers, because they will kill it on sight. But let us know that there's going to be a bag on the door, so that we don't have to see everything coming out, and you know, it needs to be changed more often than not. Those compactor bags are big, but there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's 7 residents on the floor with garbage, and there's multiple children on the floor. You know, just let us know when that's going to happen. Slide a note under the door. Let us know in the morning or in the evening, whenever it happens, so that we don't have to come out to a surprise. And that's all.
I know we'll go back and forth, but Director Reckel, this is for you. And I don't know if Sergeant Collins is still here. Sergeant Collins, I know that we brought this up on several times about the kicking of the door and kicking the door, trying to get in. How many times would you say that your officers are actually walking in and out? I know they do walkthroughs. I just don't know, like, how many times do they do it? And because if I'm correct, this is happening at night. Correct? So, okay.
Sometimes during the day as well.
Okay. Okay.
William Collins, COLLINS, Sergeant for the Hoboken Police. No, we understand the problem with the kicking of the doors. It's been addressed. Our officers do know. I could tell you, I check our CAD every day when I come in, or when I get a text either from Yesenia or yourself or the director. I mean, arrests are being made in the building with trespassing. I feel your frustration, I do. We can't be in every spot at every single second throughout the whole city. Obviously, a kicking in the door, it's annoying, you yell. They know that probably the police are going to be called, and then they're gone when we get there. But I mean, you know, listen, if the door's broke or whatever, we'll report that as criminal mischief. Myself and Yesenia are very, just how me and Frank were. You tell us the door's broke or whatever, that's easy. We get the cameras, we figure out who it is, and we charge them criminally. I get that it's a problem. They are down there. We always have at least 2. You know, looking, I mean, if there's a kick there at 560 and they're walking through 310 Jackson, I mean,
I get it.
It's frustrating for us too, because we want it to stop, we do. So, I mean, they are down there, they are trying. You get the arrest reports every month, you see that it's happening, and it's in our blotter too as well, where you see the 300 block, the 400 block. So those are typically trespassing arrests. So I get the frustration. I mean, call us if you see, like, you know, it's Mike Russo kicking your door at the back and he's wearing all gray.
do that too.
We'll go look for him, you know what I mean, and see if they are a resident, non-resident.
Because usually
Figure out
I'll
who
send
they-
the text out right away,
Right,
because that's sometimes easier for me.
yeah,
I'm in the room.
I hear you.
I don't hang anything on my kitchen walls because I'm afraid something's gonna
I know.
fall.
I'm not hearing who's having a conversation.
I'm sorry, he was actually speaking with Adrian Rollins about the issue. I'm sorry, I'm Terry. But,
So that's pretty much it. We feel your frustration too. We wish we could catch them all, you know what I mean?
thank you. And Adrian, maybe we can identify them, if you know them by name or something, and we get that, okay, and again, I don't know, and this goes for any resident, even if you're on, like, if you know who's doing it, report it, because if you report it, that's the only way the police are gonna be able to actually take control and do what they have to do so that this can stop. Because once you start stopping one or two, the others will stop doing it, so.
And our management staff, when the report comes in, they do look at the video and see if they can identify who it was. If it is, they take action, but it's often hard to identify who it was at night. And it does show that the doors are working, because if the door wasn't working, they wouldn't be banging on it. But I think usually they're banging on it to get somebody in that place's attention. Probably some associate of theirs, somebody they know is doing something. So the more information we can have, the better. Because again, Ms. Rollins, it frustrates us as well.
Manuel Rivera Soler.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
step a little bit. Appreciate it. Just want everybody to be able to hear my voice.
Can you just repeat your name in the court report?
I'm going to start that right now. Manuel Rivera Soler. Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Executive Director, the administration, and of course all members of the public. Madam Chair, I want to start off with the agenda before I say my personal remarks. I, as a member of the public, have been throughout many months and years following this resolution 2025-016.05, the resolution for the development of the master plan. Tonight, it is with great pleasure that I see it here. My heart is full when I see these things come to fruition, when they go through all the stages of planning board, zoning board, public meetings, and all of this, to see something come together. And with all the innuendos that have been done, when it gets done, we'll see somebody eat crow. But for now, I just appreciate when you vote for it. And again, also that it also favors or helps our local union. Also, I would like to continue with 2025-06.06 and 2025 -06.07. I'm sure the director will be giving members of the public a little further depth or in your conversations in regards to these resolutions. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not say 2025-06.08. Of course, this is of great mutual benefit to the Housing Authority and to, of course, our local union, Local 97. Whenever we can help two great organizations come together for mutual benefit, that is again a benefit for, again, like I said, to the authority, and again for all residents of Hoboken, regardless if they live in the authority or not. With that, I would say now a few words, and I'm going to be as quick as I possibly can. Again, good evening. Today, July 12th, we want to, or I would like to say, we'd be joined together to celebrate and to stay and to wish to the Filipino community of the Housing Authority and the greater city of Hoboken. This is their Independence Day officially. There's also one on July 4th, but that one is not the one that most Filipinos celebrate. So to all Hobokenites and residents of the Hoboken Housing Authority, I would hopefully that we can join and wish them a happy Independence Day. As well as Council President, of course, we'd like to congratulate now Commissioner Vega for this achievement. It also makes the Hoboken born and raised to see so many members of the community joining this august commission. So again, a great day, not just for you, but for all of us. But again, congratulations. I want to say it in Espanol to the transcriber, felicidades. For the transcriber, that is congratulations. Also, if I can say, I want to exhort all of you guys, you always do, but again, to the new member, continue your hard work, continue your advocacy and your oversight powers in this commission to make sure that all residents feel comfortable and are assured that you are doing your due diligence to make sure that you listen and hear their concerns and their issues, and they get swift resolutions as soon as possible. That's what I meant to say. So, with that having said, we know that you are all here to do oversight, but when you, as Madam Chair does, you hear something, take a note. If you can't discuss it now, maybe you make a direct communication to someone in the Housing Authority as well as the director who's always in the middle. And with that, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I just want to say, God bless you, God bless you all, and God bless Hoboken, and be safe and have a good summer. Thank you.
Cynthia Hatchett? Motion to close public portion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moving forward, resolution number 2025-0601, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to approve the meeting minutes for May 8th, 2025.
Motion.
Reorganization board meeting, sorry.
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns? Director, call the vote.
David Edwards?
Yes.
Anthony Forbes?
He's not on.
Anthony, Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0602, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to approve the meeting minutes for the May 8th, 2025 regular board meeting.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? Discussion? Call the vote, Director.
David Edwards?
Yes.
Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Resolution number 2025-0603, resolution to ratify payment of the monthly list of bills for the Hoboken Housing Authority.
Motion. Second.
Questions, discussion? Director, call the vote.
David Edwards?
Yes.
Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0604, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to approve the Master Development Agreement for Phase 1 of repositioning with RPM Development LLC.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. Director, could you please give us some background on
I will
this?
open the discussion by saying how excited I am. What a major step this is for this housing authority, for all the work that's been put in it. The ramifications for the residents are going to be profoundly positive over time. And I'm just excited to say that we finally gotten here with all the work we've put in the past 5 years to get to this step, and to have been through the journey of being able to select a very high quality development partner. Our PM, who's with us tonight, will be doing introductions in a moment, with the help of our entire team, the City Council, the Board of Commissioners, the residents of Hoboken that have taken part in our strategic and redevelopment plans. It's just made me incredibly proud to be here tonight and to have had a hand in leading this to bring us to this point. It's one step, but it's a major step. It's a step to be celebrating, and I think should this pass tonight, I think we are holding our head up high in Hoboken to be able to say we've done this right, to be able to say we've been inclusive of our residents, we've been inclusive of our neighbors, of our stakeholders, the nonprofits, our condominium owning neighbors, the City Council, as Councilman Russo and Councilman Fisher said here tonight, that they have that support with us. So I'm happy to be here, and I think it's a major step. And what I'm going to do is ask Frank to introduce our guests tonight, and then take it from there. So Frank, would you like to get up and introduce our guests?
Absolutely.
Where you are.
Before I actually get started, a lot of folks get credit for what we're doing here, but we don't hear enough about the director. So thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we are in a lot of rooms where a lot of personalities and a lot of things happen. And, you know, when the subject is this important, people tend to show their emotion on their sleeve. And the director keeps us calm, he keeps us focused. So, you know, in these situations, keeping a calm, clear head is what's most important. Because at the end of the day, I do believe that we all have the same goal in mind. I know that this room is filled right now of all the people who want to see this work. There may be a lot of people and a lot of naysayers, but they're not here, and that's not who we're doing it for anyway. So before I go ahead and introduce our partners, I do want to say that as we get close to this redevelopment, it's only obvious that folks are feeling a certain kind of way. And one of the things that we want to make sure before we start anything is to reaffirm our commitment for the one-for-one replacement. Because this one-for-one replacement is not something that we're doing just because it's moral. It's something that we have to do. It's part of our obligation as part of this redevelopment. So, but we are doing it because it's what's important to us. And if I may, and Terry, I will send you this as a document. You can type it as I speak, but I want to read this letter in that we sent to the council, Hoboken Council this week, and to the mayor, because we do know that it's very difficult as our representatives go out into the community and they get asked these questions, and so many things have happened, and there's so many, you know, deadlines and things that we have done. So we wanted to put something together that just kind of encapsulated the one-for-one replacement thought before we talk about the MDA. The MDA is the secondary to what this is. What we want to make sure is that everybody understands what our one-for-one replacement is. So I'm going to read this in. This is a prepared statement. And Terry, like I said, I will share that document with you.
It's a statement signed by both myself and by Frank.
So we write to you today on behalf of the Hoboken Housing Authority to share and reaffirm our deep and unwavering commitment to the principle for the one-for-one replacement of all existing public housing units as we advance our redevelopment efforts. This commitment is more than a policy. It has been a consistent and foundational theme from the very beginning. It's embedded in our guiding principles that were passed in February of 22, reinforced in our strategic plan in April of 22, echoed by the city's Hoboken redevelopment plan in December of 23, and reaffirmed time and time again at every resident meeting that we've held. This message has never wavered. HHA will not allow the loss of affordable housing in Hoboken. Every unit that exists today will be replaced, and every resident will have the absolute right to return. That is, if they even have to leave their unit. We are blessed that they might go directly into the new unit. This promise is not just moral, it's a critical part of our funding strategy. Through the HUD-approved RAD Section 18 blend, the right to return is a regulatory requirement. Upholding one-for-one replacement is essential for unlocking the resources needed to make this redevelopment possible. In other words, it's not just something that we believe in, it's something that we must deliver. We are also uniquely fortunate. Unlike many other housing authorities across the country, we have available land that will allow us to build first. This is a rare and invaluable opportunity. It means that we can minimize displacement, relocate residents only once, and create new homes before asking anyone to leave their current one. It's a strategic advantage that we do not take for granted, and we are using it to keep families stable, secure, and informed at every step of the way. We go on to say that we've attached the guiding principles, which are available at our website for anybody who wants to see them. Those guiding principles were the board's principles. It's what the board believes in. It's what they are saying, this is why we're doing this. That's on our website. Please go see that. It's under the development tab of the myhhanj.com. So, in closing, we just ask for your continued support and partnership in making this vision a reality. Your leadership and your voice in the community are essential to ensuring that our residents, neighbors, and stakeholders know that this redevelopment is being driven by values, transparency, and above all, respect for the people who call Hoboken a home. So you can find a copy of this on our website. I will share this with the board. I'll send a copy to our court reporter. But most importantly, it is the foundation on which we are building everything that we're doing. So if we can understand that, we understand why we have wound up where we have. And with that, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce, we have here in person from RPM, we have Michael Hong, who is the Vice President of Development. Michael. We have here on the board some of the Development Selection Committee members and who had the opportunity, but for those who have not had the opportunity, RPM is one of the leading developers in the state of New Jersey, which was what was the best and most important quality for us. We saw somebody in RPM that not only understood the redevelopment, but they understood where we are geographically. They have a pulse on Hudson County, and it has to be said, because in these deals, they are so specific to the area and how it works. You could be great at development in Seattle, but that might not translate to Hudson County, New Jersey, right? So we appreciate everything that they've done ahead of coming to this point. They bring 40 years of experience. Another thing that I really love about RPM is that they're, as big as they are, they're a mom and pop shop. They're owned by Ed Martoglio and Rich, his son, who is now succeeding him. We have Joe Portelli on Zoom. And they are a one-stop shop. As we saw other proposals that came in, they were all beautiful. Let me tell you, it was one of the hardest things that we ever did, was go through 4 proposals, because they were all equally fantastic, and we fell in love with each one. And after each proposal, we were like, oh my God, this is the one. However, RPM was above and beyond in everything that they did and how they presented themselves to us. And not just that, when you go into a negotiation with somebody, just like we saw the value in them, they saw the value in Hoboken and gave us the respect to be partners and understood the value of a 50-50 relationship, which they have agreed to in this master development agreement. And for that, we're grateful. We intend to live up to our part, and we know that you will live to your part as well. I've seen nothing but finished projects from them, and their finished projects are amazing. And I invite you and encourage all of you to look RPM up and see some of the work that they have accomplished and what they're doing right now. And I am certain that when they are done with our building, it's going to be the talk of the town. And people are not going to be saying, oh, where's the housing authority? They're going to be saying, where's the housing authority? I want to go see that building. I heard about that building. So I know that the MDA is basically a procedural manual where we agree to the terms of how we're going to move forward. It does get complicated because it involves financial and other things that aren't, you have to make sure that you cross every T and you dot every I. But their competence in our community are going to bring together probably, I would imagine, we already won an award for the plan. I anticipate an award for the finished product. So I hope to see you all at the finish line. It's not gonna be overnight, but we're not here to do overnight stuff. We're here to do something that will be for a long, long time. And yes, we are looking to make sure that there is affordable housing in Hoboken for generations to come, no matter what anybody says.
I would like to echo that, and I would like in a minute to give Joe Portelli a chance if he'd like to say a thing or two. But I'd like to boil down this MDA for us. This document in many ways joins RPM and the Housing Authority as equal partners in developing this project. This group, the Hoboken Housing Authority, is now going to be a developer along with RPM. I mean, we are 50-50. So it changes our role, it changes our aspect, it changes what we do as an organization and our potential for the next 20, 30, 40 years in providing sustainable, affordable housing, not just replacement, but increasing affordable housing in Hoboken. That, as opposed to another developer, there's developers in Hoboken everywhere, but this is different. Our mission in life is affordable, quality housing. We are not just another private developer. We come to the starting gate with the mission of affordable housing for the people that need it the most. So we want to open our arms to partner with anyone who shares that mission. We open our arms to have anyone who wants to watch us and be a gatekeeper for us and watch us and make sure we do it. Yay, come on in, be with us, be partners with us, because I want somebody to be watching us to make sure we're on the right track all the time as we go down this journey. So having said that, quickly, I would like to ask, would Joe, as part owner of RPM, Joe, are you there? Would you like to address this?
I am here.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Sorry I couldn't make it there. But when I had my video off, I had a big smile on my face. Your words very kind, very moving. And I think what's going to make this a very special partnership is that we do indeed share your mission, share your values, share your commitment, and the work is just getting started. It will not be easy, but above all else, it will be worth doing, and we look forward to doing it with you. So thank you for the honor of entrusting this endeavor to us.
Thank you, Joe. Michael, anything you'd like to say? We've been through so many meetings with these guys.
I'll just echo what Joe said, and this is part of the excitement for me is that I'm now hitting almost 10 years. This is Michael Hong from RPM.
Michael Hong from RPM.
HHONG.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Something that's really exciting for me on a personal note is I happen to live right around the block, and I'm hitting almost 10 years in Hoboken, so starting to get to that towny, towny phase, and so I have a very personal vested interest in seeing this project through, and I'm really excited. We have a long road ahead, but I'm excited for this partnership.
Thank you. It's so good to see you in flesh and blood. I thought you only existed on Zoom.
Madam Chair,
Sure, absolutely. Director, are you done?
Yeah, just
okay.
One more introduction, if I may, before. We have Jonathan Flugstad, who is our redevelopment attorney, and their work in the MBA was invaluable. So I want to thank him, and I want to recognize that he is here, and also would like to give him the opportunity to.
Yeah. just as we invite Jonathan to say anything, just to recap, we've had two attorneys that have been working with us. One is, of course, Harold Fitzpatrick, which has been invaluable to negotiating and making this agreement happen. And then Jonathan and the Reno and Kavanaugh group, who specialize nationally in redevelopment projects that we brought on because of that experience. I think both attorney firms have been invaluable here, the local experience from Harold and that national experience from Reno and Kavanaugh and Jonathan that they've brought to the table that have done hundreds of these projects and representing the Housing Authority. They represent the Housing Authority and making sure we've got a fair shake in this agreement. So Jonathan?
Jonathan, can I have your last name, please?
He hasn't spoken yet, sir.
He's on mute. Yeah, you're on mute if you're there.
Is he there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Jonathan Fuchs, spelled F as L-U, sword, S as fan, A, and D like D. So I'd like to thank the director for the kind words and more importantly for the opportunity to work on such an important project. I will say that the negotiations were difficult but collegial, and my partner Cody Bennett and I, with Attorney Fitzpatrick, were able to, I believe, negotiate a deal that is at or terms that are better than market. And so I think that once all the hard work and development is done, you folks will be proud of the building and community that you're redeveloping, and it's going to be the first of a number of communities that will add a great deal of that to your Hoboken. So thanks again.
Thanks to you, and a special thanks to Cody when you talk to him, and thank you for all your assistance in bringing this far. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Sure.
So I want to say, I don't think people understand the amount of extra hours our staff has to do. Going back to 2020, when we first started this process as a board, the staff can't meet when the commissioners are, the committee's not available during the day. So they literally had to meet maybe 16 times in the evening just to commit to a strategic planner. And that's just a teeny bit of it. They had to go spend, countless hours, not only what they're doing during the day, but what they have to do at night, because that's when we're available. So I really want to say thank you so much for really sticking to this. It's personal to them. They really want to do this. Because if you could not, you're taking away your time from your family, from your other activities to really make sure this works. Because in order for this to work, it's a partnership, it has to go hand in hand, and the team has to work hand in hand. And I am so proud that this team has worked hand in hand for the last 5 years. Has it been easy? No. Have we had a lot of challenges? Yes. But we got here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Would anybody else like to say anything? I'm sorry, I have to say something. I'm a little emotional because this is personal to me. I remember 20 years ago when we tried to do this, and unfortunately due to the political world that we live in, we were neglected and we couldn't do it. Our residents were forced to continue to live the way that we were living in buildings that were falling apart. So I live there. I don't live in the senior building. I live in those family units. I know what it's like. I know what the residents have been through. And I just want to say that if for 1 minute I thought that this would not benefit our residents, I would not be voting for this tonight. So this is a little bit more personal to me than the other commissioners, so my apologies, but I needed to say that. Thank you to everybody that has worked so hard. Like I said before, today's a historic night, and I just hope that this continues to move forward. The city council backs us up, and the city continues to back us up so that this can actually and finally become a reality to the residents of the Housing Authority who deserve it. So, thank you. If there's no further comments, can we call the vote?
The leadership of this board has been extraordinary. Thank you, board. Vote David Edwards. Yes. Anthony Forbes.
Sorry, this is the court reporter. I don't know if there was a motion. I didn't.
Yes,
There was
a motion before.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have it?
Do we have it?
I created the motion, and then I think Jeannie seconded it.
Yes. Very good. David Edwards? Yes. Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0605, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to extend the contract for provision of the delivery and pickup of steel roll-off trash containers.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? Director Dion?
David Edwards? Yes. Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0606, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to increase the amount of the contract for Harrison Gardens security enhancements.
Motion. Second. Can we ask
Questions? Concerns? Discussion?
Can you,
Can we talk a little bit about this?
Yes.
Sure. Emma, can you jump on in? I'm gonna lose my voice.
Sure, no problem. So this is a contract that we had entered into back in, in October of 24. It was to do security enhancements, and it was because there was leftover funding as part of the $3.5 million capital grant that we had done solely for Harrison Gardens. Prior to that, we had used capital funding to do network switches. The network switches were needed to be done because when we did the fiber optics in 2014, those network switches only had about a 10-year useful life. So there was a recommendation that we needed to take this out to bid. So we entered into a contract for network switches. Thereafter, we were awarded a contract. Not a contract, but we were awarded the capital funds for Harrison Gardens. And one of the big projects was in Harrison Gardens. All of the floors, the stairwells, and the roofs were going to get, cameras.
Right.
So when we entered into this now third contract with Unified Technology Partners, they realized that with this additional infrastructure, the network switches were not efficient. So they gave us they said, and this has been the only change order in this contract, it's a 2.86% change order. They said that we really need to do this in order for everything to function right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Does anyone have any further questions? Director, call the vote.
David Edwards? Yes. Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes. Resolution number 2025-0607, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to increase the amount of the contract for courtyard improvements, fencing at Harrison Gardens.
Motion. Second.
I have a question. Is this for fencing or the ongoing improvements that are happening? And do we have a date as to when this project will be done?
Jump on in, Emma.
So it's not for fencing. This change order is solely because of changes that North Hudson Sewerage Authority has requested. I think that when you're going by the Jackson Street side of the courtyard, you'll notice all the piping that's there.
Yes.
There were certain specifications that were included that were initially approved by North Hudson Sewerage Authority. And when the contractor, after we awarded the contract, went to say, okay, now we're ready to tie in, they made additional changes.
The Sewerage Authority made the changes. The Sewerage Authority made the changes. So they required the change to tie into their systems, and this is what it's cost us to do the changes. If they would have specified correctly in the beginning, we would have had it. We would have had to pay this anyway. But when they came and did the change after the specs and it was bid out, then we had to do the change order with the contractor. Does that make sense?
It does. And do we have, once this is done and this is approved and so forth, do we have an end date for this?
We have been promised actually before the end of July. I'm saying the end of July. When I talked to the contractor about 2 weeks ago, he definitely said the end of June, first week of July. So I like to push on that a little bit, but this connection is it. I mean, once this connection is made, and they've already been working on it, once that's done, the dirt goes back in, the final new tiles go back in, and there's nothing left on this project. So we're close.
Thank you.
I would just like to make one additional note that we are, and I believe Emma was through a different purchasing mechanism, we are going to be putting a playground in that courtyard, right? So I don't want to have a grand opening until that playground's in. So that's a different purchasing mechanism. But while the project went on, we took a look and said, we want a playground in here. So we're going to do that, and then we'll have a grand opening. I'm sorry.
And just for, sorry.
Emma?
Yeah, so that purchase order is out, that contract was approved. We're just waiting. The contractor has ordered the equipment, so I don't have a specific time frame on when that playground can get in, but as soon as I find out, I will communicate.
Thank you. Commissioner?
I just, for the benefit of the other commissioners, I just want to point out, this change order was discussed at the capital improvement meeting, and the one thing that is different here from normal change orders is that with this change order, and I support it, so this is more just for clarification or for notification, this change order actually takes us over 20% in total change orders. So there's some additional steps that will need to be taken by the housing authority in order for us to comply with all the terms. But again, I'm in support of it. It was discussed in detail at that point, but there is some differences from this change order from other normal change orders that you see that come before us for approval, and it was discussed at the capital improvement meeting. And it's listed there at the bottom where you see that it's discussed in here, but I know sometimes you don't read the last few whereases. So anyways.
Thank you, Commissioner Edwards. If there's no further discussion, Director, could you please call the vote?
David Edwards?
Yes.
Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0608, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to adopt a memorandum of agreement between the authority and Teamsters Local 97 and to authorize the executive director of the authority to execute an agreement incorporating the changes outlined therein.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? Director, call the vote.
David Edwards? Yes. Anthony Forbes? Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carmen Vega,
Yes.
James Sanford, Erica Seitzman.
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0609, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to award a contract for floor stripping and waxing services.
Motion.
Okay, who's gonna second it? They both second. Who's seconding it? One of you?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any questions, concerns?
I just want to say that I've been going to resident meetings. We've been talking about floors, waxing, stripping, waxing, right? And we've been working on this for so long. This will put a contract in place for, on a regular basis, for a company to come in and strip and wax the floor every 4 months.
And this is in the senior building?
Yes.
Okay.
So Fox Hill, Monroe, and Adams, here every 4 months, that company will come in. Our team will do cleaning and mopping in the meantime, but stripping all the way down, re-waxing, so they should be shiny all the time. So we've talked about this, and we finally found the money, we finally found a way to do it. So we're really, I'm just overjoyed. We had to bid this twice to make this happen, and so we're just overjoyed at being able to do this. I think it's another sign, I don't want to get too philosophical, but it's another sign that we have finally gotten over some of the emergency humps at this housing authority. We've been spending 8 years now on roofs, boilers, elevators, all these emergency things. And we're finally finding some money in our operating budget to turn to these extraordinary maintenance, regular, not even extraordinary, regular maintenance things that, yes, we should be doing for our residents. And that includes painting, floor stripping on a regular basis. So I'm proud to have been here.
If there's no further discussion, Director, call the vote.
David Edwards. Yes. Anthony Forbes. Barbara Reyes.
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Yes.
Erica Sykes.
Yes.
Motion to close?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.